6 hikers collapsed in seconds, foaming at the mouth, bleeding, screaming. Only one survived. This is the Khamar-Daban Incident, a forgotten Russian tragedy buried in the shadows of Dyatlov Pass. This isn't folklore, it isn't fiction, it's a real case, and it may be one of the most terrifying, unsolved mysteries to ever crawl out of the Russian wilderness. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling true crime contents. It began as all tragedies do, with innocence. A hiking group, 7 friends, young, passionate, and hungry for the wild. Their leader, Lyudmila Korovina, was seasoned, a survival instructor with years of experience, trained under Soviet standards. She was known for her strength, her toughness, her ability to lead in harsh conditions. The 6 others were her protégés, enthusiastic, well-trained, and tightly knit. Among them was Valentina Utochenko, just 17, shy and observant. They trusted Lyudmila implicitly because they had no reason not to. In late July of 1993, the team made their way to the Khamar-Daban range, a steep and densely forested wilderness stretching near the southern edge of Lake Baikal. The destination was challenging, but not extreme. This wasn't their first expedition. It wouldn't be their last, or so they thought. The hike began under cloudy skies, the air wet and heavy. Locals say the weather had been strange that summer. Erratic, dry one day, brutal the next. Still, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. They passed through the final outpost, the village of Mungol, with light backpacks and confident smiles. No one noticed anything strange, but deep in the mountain woods, people speak in hushed tones about something else. Not spirits exactly, something older, a sickness of the land. The kind that doesn't announce itself until it's too late. By early August, as the group had reached high altitude, they were preparing to descend. Valentina remembers the night clearly. They had made camp just below the tree line, where the wind howled through bent pines and the mist rolled low like a creature on all fours. It was damp, but manageable. They built a fire, cooked, ate, laughed, and then it began. No warning, no sound, just a sudden shift in the air. Alexander, one of the strongest, was the first to fall. He made a strange noise, half gasp, half scream, and collapsed. His hands clutched at his chest, at his throat. He convulsed violently, his eyes bulging in terror. Foam erupted from his mouth. Blood followed, seeping from his lips, his nose. The others rushed to help, but before they could understand what was happening, Tatiana went down, then Victoria. Within seconds, chaos tore through the group like a plague. Some screamed, some clawed at their throats, some tried to run, only to stumble and fall, their bodies convulsing in the wet grass, eyes rolling, mouths open in silent agony. Blood streamed from noses and ears. Their bodies twitched, seized, then went still. Lyudmila, the leader, died watching them, unable to stop it, unable to understand. Only 2 were left standing, Valentina, frozen in terror, and Dennis, who turned and ran into the trees. But even Dennis wouldn't make it. His body was found later, stiff and lifeless, with blood pooled under his nose and a look of sheer panic etched into his expression. Valentina didn't scream. She couldn't. She didn't run. She didn't even cry. She just stood there, amid the bodies of her friends, the gurgling silence, the echoes of what had just happened, and waited. The night fell fast and brutal. The temperature dropped. The mist thickened. And Valentina, only 17, made a shelter from branches, pulled the sleeping bags over herself, and curled into the fetal position beside the bodies of her companions. She stayed that way for nearly 2 days. When she finally fled, it wasn't in panic, it was in silence. She moved carefully, deliberately, making her way down through thick, wet forest, crossing rivers and cliffs barefoot, hungry, numb. She spoke to no one. When she reached the nearest village, her face was hollow. Her voice, when it finally returned, was not her own. She told them what happened, what she remembered, and nothing made sense. The authorities responded slowly. It was days before they reached the site. By then, the bodies had been exposed to the elements, some partially buried by rain and rocks. The decomposition was advanced, but the scene was wrong. The expressions on the corpses weren't peaceful. They were twisted, contorted, eyes wide, mouths agape, as if their final moments had been filled with unimaginable terror. The official explanation was swift and suspicious: hypothermia, stress, malnutrition, perhaps even panic-induced madness, but none of it added up. It was summer. There was no frostbite, no indication of starvation. And what kind of mass hysteria causes 6 people to simultaneously foam at the mouth and die bleeding? Autopsies revealed something darker: signs of pulmonary edema, fluid in the lungs, evidence of internal bleeding, brain swelling, heart failure. But no external injuries, no toxins found, no infections, and no cause that could explain how 6 people, young and healthy, died within minutes of one another. Valentina drank the same water, ate the same food, slept beside them, and she survived. Why? The case was quietly closed, filed away, forgotten. But in the years that followed, rumors spread. Locals spoke of strange experiments in the area: unmarked helicopters, military drills, radiation tests long buried by bureaucracy. Others said the group may have stumbled upon something, seen something they weren't meant to. There were whispers of a sound, a frequency that could shatter the mind. Still others clung to folklore: the forest spirits, the cursed wind, the belief that certain places in Siberia aren't meant to be disturbed, that the land remembers. Whatever the truth is, it died on that mountain, buried beneath damp earth and suffocated by silence. And Valentina, she never spoke publicly again. She lives in anonymity now, older, quiet, a ghost in her own story. But when asked, she will say only one thing: that she can still hear their screams. That sometimes when the wind rises just right, she feels like she's back there in that clearing. The bodies at her feet, the sky pressing down, the silence pulsing like a heartbeat. And in that moment she wonders if she ever really left. The Khamar-Daban incident is more than a tragedy. It's a riddle carved into the bones of a mountain. No answers, no closure, just the endless question: what happened that night? We may never know. The files are shut, the evidence buried, and those who remember choose not to speak. But the mountain remains, waiting, watching. And sometimes in the mist you might see footprints that weren't there the night before. Or hear a voice, distant, broken, asking for help that will never come. Because in Khamar-Daban, the silence doesn't mean peace. It means the story isn't over, it's only sleeping.